I see the next Floyd Mayweather. If anybody can break my records, this young kid right here can do it, and I truly believe in him.
Everyone sees you as the next Floyd Mayweather, aka the next great. Do you feel that y'all walk is a similar path, with the Olympics experience, how Floyd got robbed, but he used that as fuel, to get, to basically promise himself that he'll never lose again and completely dominate his opposition. They say history repeats itself. So you see the similarities between both of you guys?
Yeah, I definitely see the similarities when it comes down to that. I feel like Floyd, after he lost in the Olympics, it hurt him, and he didn't want to lose no more. But with me, same thing. Like, I don't want to ever feel that feeling of losing. I'm a competitor, and this is what I do every single day of my life. So this means so much to me that I will never want to lose. So I'm going to do everything in my power to not lose. And definitely appreciate all the comparisons. Because Floyd Mayweather is one of the greatest fighters to ever do it.
Absolutely. What was your reaction when Floyd told you that you can surpass him? This is coming from what most consider one of the Michael Jordan of boxing. Like, for Floyd to tell you that.
I mean, it's definitely love, and I appreciate what he said. And like you said, history repeats itself. People was looking at Kobe when he was hooping, saying he was the next Michael Jordan, and then you saw a lot of similarities in their game and stuff like that. So you definitely got to appreciate the comparisons. You know that you're the first. I know I'm the first Shakur Stevenson. I know that I'm going to make my own way and pave my own way at the end of the day, but I definitely appreciate being compared to one of the best fighters ever.
Shakur, this is my last question. First of all, I appreciate you for your time and your patience, but this is my last question, man. What can the fans expect to see when they tune in on April 30th?
Superstar be born. I think I'm a superstar. I'm going to do everything in my power to come out victorious, and I'm not letting him take no food off my table.
Appreciate your time, bro.
Got you.
At what age did you notice that Shakur was special? Like, at what age did you notice he had the ingredients to be on the path to becoming one of the best pound for pound in the world? And at what age did you start to see this?
I would say maybe 12 or 13. I was seeing him, he was good. He was always good, but early on, he was fighting on the orthodox side. And, I say maybe 7 to 9 fights in. You gotta ask Wally. 7 to 9 fights in, he made a switch. And after he made that switch, this kid was hard to beat. So I remember one day distinctively walking past the ring inside Elite Heat boxing gym, and Juan Cole was in the middle of the ring, and they mitting up, and I stopped and I tapped my man. I'm like, hey, man, you see this shit? It's the next Floyd, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
I'm glad you brought up Floyd, man, because when you heard Floyd Mayweather tell Shakur he's the next one that can surpass me, what was your reaction to that?
We knew that. We already knew that. We've been watching it for a long time, And Shakur can't be Shakur without Wally Moses. Wally Moses can't be Wally Moses without Shakur. And those two together, man, you're talking about a genius and a young genius. It's defense is what the priority first and foremost, right? But his offense is just as good as his defense. So, I don't think there's a fighter out here with the IQ, with the skill set. He's the least hit fighter in boxing, and probably the most accurate fighter in boxing as well. So, we've been watching this for a minute. It's not new to us. It's kind of new to the world.
Right. When you heard Floyd Mayweather tell Shakur he's the one that can surpass Floyd, what was your reaction to that?
Well, the reaction is respect. With me, hypothetically speaking, every fighter, has that dream of becoming the best ever. You know what I'm saying? And him complimenting, that's a compliment. Him saying that, and I'll take it as a vote of encouragement to him.
Absolutely. At what age did you know Shakur was special? Like, when you seen him, when did you realize he had those ingredients to become, in the future, the number one pound for pound in the world?
Well, at an early age, he's displayed certain skills, like timing and whatnot. But it was in a different sport in baseball, and at an early age, he had those signs that he really had something to offer to himself and to the world in terms of his athleticism. So he started tweaking at an early age, and we realized with the baseball, because I took him from one pitching machine. By the time he got from 4 to 5 years old, I think I ordered 3 different pitching machines. Each version was faster and faster and faster. He was able to hit the ball. His eye hand coordination was so unbelievable that he just went through that. And so I think moving from that and seeing that and seeing what he was able to do at an early age is what attributed to having him, going to more sports other than just baseball.
So how long you been training him? That's what, over 15 years?
No, but let me say this to you right now. Okay. It's a lot of stuff about here about fake people talking about they train my son. My grandson has had no other trainer but me his entire life. Okay. And I like to hear anybody hear somebody talking that stuff about they train my grandson. It's a lie. He's had no other trainer his entire life. Matter of fact, from 2011 to 2015, I was team manager for USA Boxing when we won our world championships and everything. So he's had no other trainer other than myself. Okay, and that's a fact. And anybody say that they train my grandson other than me, they're telling a lie, and I'm going to see them in court.
Hey, look, you heard it here first from him. So with that said, in your opinion, who's going to be the biggest rival for Shakur? Like the biggest fight for Shakur that's going to make him pound for pound #1?
Well, the biggest fight, I have a lot of respect for all the athletes out there, and in my opinion right now, they're going to have to really establish amongst themselves who's the cream of the crop there, because I don't mean any disrespect to any boxers, but Shakur has walked the walk. Like I said, he won his first world championship at age 14, and he's been winning that championship. He fought against 3 other prior world champions, that had previous won world champions. So he's been winning world champions all of his life, pretty much virtually. So going into this here fight, I think all the other opponents that don't have that much experience or on that level, or fighting high level, or fighting the high, big profile fights, I think they have to get to that point, because Shakur was there at a very early age of fighting the high profile fights, man. And he walked into Ukraine, man, and with the place screaming, crowding, and we from the USA, and Ukraine, and he's the only one there, and he silenced the whole crowd, just as well as we went to Bulgaria in 2014, 2015, and we fought against a kid named Muhammad Ali from Great Britain, and this kid had all the hype in the world, and particularly behind his name was Muhammad Ali. So that big fight, he stepped up again and he won that unanimously. And as a point, we fought like 18 fights internationally. We won the most prestigious cups and championships in Russia and Germany. And out of those tournaments, he hasn't lost a round. That's what's so phenomenal, people lose a round, but he hasn't lost a round.
What's your thoughts on Canelo's trainer saying that African American fighters are difficult?
Are as difficult? Or
He said they are difficult.
They are difficult because you have a variety of styles. See, we bring not only, like you say, the Mexican style, they bring a lot of stamina, a lot of high impact, a lot of volume punching and whatnot. But, the African Americans, we used to versatility, we used to everything coming at through life. We had all kind of things coming at us. So, in the boxing world, when it comes to us, we're very athletic individuals, and we have a lot to, to really fight for. Not saying any other ethnicity hasn't so much to fight for to prove themselves, but we've always had the odds stacked against us. So we have a more detrimental drive to prove ourselves more than anybody else. That's what I think the black fighters have more than anything else. We're not giving anything, We have to go out and take and make everything that we get. Nobody gives us anything. Nobody builds us up as a fighter, takes us, builds us up, promote us without fights or not being a qualified fighter or a good fighter or as a good coach. We did the same thing in coaching now. We had the coaches being built up as good coaches. They're not as effective. So, like I said, I respect all fighters. I respect all coaches. And the styles, I would like to see those top fighters fight it out because they did not walk the walk. Not taking anything away from them. I give one of them credit. I give Devin credit because Devin went with us internationally on 2 world champions. He was fought in 2 world champions. So he had a lot of international experience. You know, Devin was with me for 3 years internationally. So I know he gained a lot of international, and it helped him. As you can see, as his maturation during his career, you see he's been able to stay undefeated. So, you know, for those who did not go that route, I think they need to prove themselves in the ring, inside the ring, by competing each other, because it seemed like to me they avoided each other at the Olympic trials and whatnot. They didn't want to, because they get to a point where some fighters, they don't want to increase their value going to the next level. I think a lot of them took the easy route by coming into the pros rather than defeating the people that defeated them in the nationals. You know what I'm saying? So I'd say to each his own. You know, I commend them for taking that route, the shortcut to the pros, you know, not really having to fight the best in the nation to really prove himself. And Devin, I say again, is another story, because Devin was is the youngest of them all, you know. And he took the courage to take that step at a young age, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I commend him for that, you know. Now Tank and Shakur grew up together a lot, you know. We've traveled together, me and Calvin knew each other when Tank and Shakur were little. When Shakur and Tank wasn't even thought about pretty much, you know, so we've been around for a long time. Ryan Garcia, I first met him when we fought him, and his mother called me one time and, you know, asked me to help Ryan Garcia out, help him out with his jab and whatnot back in the day. So all of those guys, you know, I think that they took the shortcut, like going to fight in the 4-rounders, going fighting the guys in Mexico, you know, who were just record builders, who were just bodies, you know. And I think they need to contend against each other because they avoided it in the amateur. And particularly the Olympic trials, we could have easily established which one of them was the best. Right.